Derek Carr retiring and leaving a big hole in the Saints offense. Now, no one thinks Derek Carr would stay healthy. No one thinks Derek Carr was going to be all that good, but it's a harsh reminder that the Saints could be the worst football team in the NFL in 2025. And all the players that are in this situation are greatly affected by what's now a garbage quarterback carousel competition by a quarterback I don't believe in Tyler Shuck. Hayner, Spencer Rattler, and a very bad supporting cast. And a wide receiver who we love a lot in Chris Olave, let's be honest, but 4 concussions and a highly likely player to not have a long career in the NFL. We're going to break down what this means for the New Orleans Saint players, specifically Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave and anybody else you might be looking at, especially Shuck in Dynasty. For some reason, you think he's going to be a good quarterback. We'll talk about that. But I think the Saints are trending down.
Stock on decline.
Didn't think it could be any worse, but it is. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
The FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Now, there is a chance that Aaron Rodgers, and I see a lot of the comments in the chat, that Aaron Rodgers, maybe even Kirk Cousins could end up potentially being talked about as a quarterback to go to these locations. But I'd venture to say that Aaron Rodgers won't have too much interest, in my opinion, and that could change. I mean, this guy's hard to predict, right? we thought he'd be announcing this at least a couple months ago. I don't think that would be the case because this guy's not going to come back to a losing, collapsing situation. The only thing that would make me, I think, shocked in that scenario is that he doesn't realize it is collapsing, and sometimes players don't understand what they're getting into. But I think Aaron Rodgers probably would. So to come back and get beat up for one more year and end even worse than it was in New York, I don't think that's going to be in his line of sight. But I do believe Kirk Cousins, there's a possibility that because all the landing spots kind of shrunk after the NFL draft, I mean, you look around the league and you say to yourself, what team needs a quarterback, a starting quarterback? Colts appear to be in motion with what they got, whether you believe in Danny Dimes or not. I don't. But they're in motion right now. You got the Raiders totally set in their mind, even though we believe, they could use not necessarily an Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins, but it's just there's nothing really available. You look at the entire AFC and you're like, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no other landing spot for Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins than this landing spot here in Pittsburgh. And the Browns, once thought to be a Kirk Cousins potential landing spot. There's no way they can do that now. They have 55 quarterbacks on the roster. So we got a crowded, already filled AFC. There's just no room. You go over to the NFC side of the fence, and it's like, who's gonna bring in a quarterback? Giants are set now. There's no spot for Kirk Cousins to really go, and that was his bad. Because if you remember, Kirk Cousins said, "I'm not gonna entertain a trade." He has a no trade clause. I'm not going to entertain a trade until the draft's over. So he ended up just kind of screwing himself out of a potential landing spot just because he was worried about competition. So at the end of the day, I don't know Kirk Cousins has a better spot than New Orleans if he does want to potentially return to football as a starter. So it might have to be the place that he ends up going. Yeah, this is a bad offense, guys. This is a very bad offense. I don't believe in Chris Olave's ability to stay healthy or fend off concussions. I don't believe that Alvin Kamara will stay healthy all year. I don't believe in any other pieces of this offense whatsoever. I don't believe in Shuck. Shuck has had a couple of the worst throws that have been highlighted, and I know they're just 2-3 throws. I get it, but he is notorious for these throws. There's one in college where he's running, he just literally throws it up in the air. He's just not a good quarterback. I look at the film, I watch him. I don't think he's a good quarterback. Now, keep in mind that players have come into the NFL that none of us looked at and they've turned into good quarterbacks. So I'm not saying there isn't a room room for development and shocking the world, and he gets the right coach that he's never had that trains him a certain way, and he ends up being something special. It's possible. It's a dart throw, though. It's not something that I truly believe is going to happen, especially in this offense. Is Shuck going to really become something special on a horrible team? This is going to be the worst team in football potentially. This team will have the number 1 overall pick, and they think they're going to have this potential Arch Manning, lottery ticket, but Arch might return to football. In fact, the current word and vibe in the college football game is that Arch is staying more than 1 year. Arch hasn't been a starter for a season yet. He wants to learn. He doesn't want to come in and get rocked in the NFL. He might be so good that he's able to do that, but I don't know that the Mannings have proven that as a track record. All the Manning boys go for the 4 years or a long-term commitment to the college game. I know the game is changing, but you get paid a boatload, and you get to do what you want. You get to grow, you get to develop, you get to have fun. He hasn't done that yet. Arch Manning is probably going to follow in the path of his brothers or his brothers, his family, his lineage, and watch him play 2 years, not 1 year. So the Saints might get this number 1 overall pick and he won't be there. People say teams are planning for Arch Manning next year. They might be completely disappointed. So yeah, I don't like anybody on this roster, and that includes, unfortunately, Chris Olave, who might go in the 5-6 round territory, which seems to be a good spot. You at a glance, you're saying, oh, that is pretty good, right? 6th round. But if we pull up underdog rankings, I'll pull up underdog ADP rankings, and we'll look at where we have Chris Olave, and we'll see what players we like better, because I venture to say there are better players around his ADP up and down. 10 above, 10 below. So here are the wide receiver rankings on underdog promo. Let me grab this graphic here so we know what time it is over on the other screen. All right, so here's the ranking. Here's the ranking. If we go down to Chris Olave, and he ranks very low, so it almost feels like, okay, well, why not? Why not? And I get that. But let's take a look. Deebo Samuel. So here's Olave right here. Deebo Samuel is literally right in the middle of the screen right now. 1, 2, 3 spots below him. Jennings, 4 spots below him. Pearsall, you might even like more down even further. Now, I will admit, like, you get down here, there's a bunch of hit and miss. It's a grab bag. It's like a tough decision to grab one of these guys like Luther Burden. I love Luther Burden. Such a good player. Love Igbuka. Their situations are crowded. Hard to know what to expect. Do you like an Olave in a bad situation that's the number 1 for his team? Olave's at the top of the screen right now. Do you like Olave at 62.5 overall? Or do you like Deebo Samuel, Jennings, and a plethora of players, even Igbuka, later? I venture to say it gets tougher on Igbuka because of the sharing situation, but it's not tough for me at all with Deebo or even Juwan Jennings. It's not even close. I would not take Olave, but here's the thing. Maybe the wide receivers do thin out to a point where Olave looks pretty reasonable at 62 compared to these wide receivers, but at 62 compared to the available running backs, tight ends, and quarterbacks, it makes it even worse. So if we unfilter and we go to 62 overall, okay, where Olave sits, Olave's at the bottom of the screen. Above him, of course, if Trey Henderson's there, or Pickens, who was the number 2 for Dallas, but truly a more valuable asset in fantasy as a number 2 in Dallas than a number 1 in New Orleans with no quarterback and concussion problems. Obviously, all these players above. Harvey, we don't need to talk about the players above. I just want to mention Henderson, Harvey, and Pickens because they might, on average, be right around where Olave is. If we put Olave to the top of the screen and we look at all the players below, what players below do we love? There's Deebo. I told you that already. Deebo Jennings. Laporta. Give me Laporta over Olave every single time. Give me Quinshon Judkins over Olave. Give me Monty. Give me Caleb. Give me Mahomes especially. Give me... Let's keep going on the RBs. I mean, this is far down, so it's like I understand you can draft both. Like I'd rather Scatterboo than Olave. Yeah, Dunze over Olave. I mean, you can pick your poison. Point is, it doesn't get till like this about 95 to 100 overall territory, like where you're talking about Tyrone Tracy, Michael Pittman Jr., Trey Harris, who I like, but he's not guaranteed. Jaden Higgins, I like, but not guaranteed. You know what you I think are going to expect out of him. I think he could disappoint. I like Jonnu here. I like Kyler here if you need a quarterback. Bo Nix, I love right here. I'm taking Bo Nix over. If I need a QB or if I want to go bully quarterback in best ball, especially, I go Bo Nix over Olave every time. Scatterboo. I know you can draft Scatterboo later, so you don't need to take Scatterboo above Olave, obviously. But this is how I feel about this. You know, there's no room for Olave in my heart in fantasy football 2025. I'm sorry. It sucks to say because he was a once beloved player, a moon man, an extraordinaire, but he can't stay healthy. It is what it is. Let's take a couple phone calls. I don't know that we'll be here super long, but I want to take a few phone calls real quick.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
And let's just say this, you know, I mean, Derek Carr, Ziggy, show me the front door. Derek Carr had a great career. You know, Derek Carr was a great quarterback. People need to realize how good Derek Carr was. Ziggy, show me the front door. Come on, Zig.
I'm quite sure
You know, I get people that say that they like Ziggy's, they miss Ziggy. Ziggy can't even show me the front door anymore. But yeah, this is one of those situations where, you know, people are ripping on Derek Carr right now and saying, oh, Derek Carr sucked, Derek Carr this. Derek Carr had a great career. He had a great career. He's just at the end of it. And so those of us sitting here, you know, looking at this situation, very easy to pick on him, very easy to say he sucks, very easy to rip on this situation. But the bottom line is he deserves a standing ovation for all that he did, you know, throughout his career. And he did bring a lot of fantasy glory to a few fantasy assets. He did bring Adams a whole bunch of points in LV. Let's keep in mind, you know, that Adams did thrive that year he ventured off, and Derek Carr deserves our standing ovation.
Let's go, mashed potatoes.
Bruce, you're live.
Hey, Smitty.
What's up?
Just want to tell you, I'm really shocked with the news. But my question goes to this: if you had to pick one with like a bullet to your head type of choice, who do you choose with between DK and Olave with no quarterback?
I mean, Bruce, DK Metcalf is heads and shoulders above Olave. Like DK Metcalf is like a crafty low-end wide receiver one if you were to, let's say, go zero wide receiver through 4 rounds. Like, let's say you pounded the running back and you got Josh Allen in there, or you went running back Bowers, running back running back whatever, and you go DK and Debo later. That's fantastic. I want nothing to do with Olave. I love DK Metcalf at his value because he's the only wide receiver in town in Pittsburgh. So even though we don't know who the quarterback is, he's a survivor. He's a spatial dominator. So no matter who's throwing hospital balls up to him, the people going to the hospital are probably the people trying to hit DK Metcalf. So yeah, it's not even close, Bruce. Not even close.
Okay. Yeah, because what do you think of the kid that the Saints drafted then? You think he's going to do anything?
No. Bruce, you know, Bruce, haven't you seen a single thing I've said? I've gone over both of these. God. And Shuck, I can't stand Shuck. That's what I just got through saying. Brucey, I haven't sent you on many laps before, but you might need one.
I'll take.
Okay.
I might need one.
All right, what else you got, Bruce? I mean, you can keep asking questions. I'm just dumbfounded as all. But you're my boy, Blue. You know that. You'll always be.
You know what? As soon as it popped up, because I guess I got it a little bit later than it popped up.
Gotcha.
Derek Carr retired. I was like,
I hear you.
Oh man, he retired.
Yeah, you're in here late. I get it. Not everybody's here from the. Not everybody's here from the.
Do you think they would ever switch over? Do you think they would ever switch Taysom Hill over full time to quarterback?
Taysom, we've heard that 2 or 3 times the last handful of days. Taysom Hill tore his ACL last year. You know, we have no idea what he's going to even be like. No, there's zero chance of that. Taysom Hill's not even, you know, an option right now for even playing time. So, no. No, Bruce. Okay. Oh, you're 0 for 3. It's okay.
0 for 3.
They're good questions, though, Bruce. Sub-Zero's calling you Isaac, Bruce.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, hold on a second, Bruce. I'll come back to you. Think of another one. We got the 708 caller. You're live. What's up?
Hey, Smitty, how you doing? Love your show.
What's up, bro? Thank you.
A quick question. I'm trying to see if I should trade Barkley and 2 second rounds for 101 Genty.
Barkley and 2 second rounders for Genty. Oh, are those are 2 second rounds or 2 second rounders?
This year's 208, and then next year's just second round easy. Dynasty 12-man.
That's almost take a lap for even asking. If it were 2 first rounders, which is initially what my brain was trying to process, we said that because I didn't imagine it was second rounders. I was just like 2 second rounders. Yeah, bro. I mean, as much as I love Barkley had 370 plus touches or 470 plus touches last year, bro. And he's got an injury history. He's older. He's turning 29. Like, bro, this is the easiest thing I've ever been asked. You should be asking me, Smitty, should I trade 2 first rounders and Barkley for Genty? That's what you should be at. Wow. I'm not saying go do that. I'm just saying that is where you got me going, hemming and hawing. Like right now, you're asking me something where I accept the trade. Did he offer it to you?
No, he said no to everything else, so I'm just adding this now.
Yeah, bro, you're at okay. This isn't gonna happen then. This is fairy tale land. Offer him a first rounder in Barkley and see what he says. But yeah, this is if I got this. If someone offered me 29-year-old turning 29-year-old running back, I know it's Barkley, but for Genty, I would send this. I'd send them this.
Okay, thank you.
You are offer sex. You are great offer sex.
But hey, bro. Also, real quickly before you go, it doesn't hurt to try. You said he shot down everything, but don't ever not try and rake someone over the coals. That's why we do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna send that, and if
just
he
do an
doesn't take
even
it, I'll
trade.
throw him the first.
No. Yeah. Try that, and then throw in the first rounder. Just be careful not to keep throwing stuff in, because sometimes people say no, and then they say no to everything because they get in a no mode. You know, so like sometimes maybe just offer the first rounder. I don't know that I'd offer seconds. He's gonna say no to it. You're wasting time, and then you might end up ruining the potential dynamic of the trade. I'd just offer a first rounder and Barkley. Does the chat agree? First rounder and Barkley for Genty is probably not going to even get done. But rather than go the other route, waste time and offend him, and then he doesn't want to do a deal with you. All right, hey, check the chat, bro. The chat will answer. Bruce, I got to go right now. Both of you, I'm going to hang up at the phone line. Bruce, call back later tonight. All right, bro? All right.
All right.
See you, boys. Thank you. Thanks for your call, bro. Thank you both. All right, I'm out of here. Let me answer these super chats. We're here just real quickly with this news, and then I'll come back tonight. This one here from Mr. T. I'm still laughing when a year or two ago Ziggy could not tell you how old Stephon Diggs was. He does that a lot, bro. Had you dying. Thank you, Mr. T, for dropping the $5 holler. Yeah, he gets like people are like 87 years old all the time when we ask him. Appreciate you all. I'll be back.